Page 20, Tango Staccato. I guess we're going to have a tango with a lot of staccato in it. And a lot of eighth notes. If you look at this, good grief. 4/4 time, there's no sharps or flats in the key signatures. Looks like we're in C major. I don't see any accidentals in here, so it looks like we're only using the white keys. Okay, I can deal with that. Just right hand first. Let's make sure we get the notes and the rhythms because we are moving around a lot. And I'm hoping you're doing the C major scale. You should be doing the C major scale and the G major scale both, because those are the keys we've been working on. If you can do that, like that first measure here should be easy for you, because that's all that is a C major scale. You're starting here on C, and it's 1 and 2 and 3, and then the thumb comes down here. Second measure, 1 and 2. So forth. Now it's not easy to see, but if you'll notice that first measure only has 3 counts in it. 1, 2, 3. It's a pickup measure. It looks like a full measure because there's so much in it. Remember, a pickup measure is anything less than a full measure. So 3 counts out of 4 still counts as a pickup measure. But if you look at the last measure on page 21, it's got 1 count in it. It's got an 8th rest and an 8th note. Not in that order, but that's what they are. That's 1 count. So we come in on beat 2 when we play this. Jump down to the 3rd line, last measure. You got a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, tie. 2 and. You come up on the and of 2, or when the left hand plays that F. For the most part, that is it. You look at the last line on page 21, it looks ugly, it's not. You just got a lot of curved lines going over everywhere. The F and the G here. The dotted half note's tied to the whole note, so you're going to hold that down for 7 counts. That'll be fun. And then you got a big slurred line for the slur. I'll come back to that later. So you're holding that down for 7 counts, and then the E. And it's only an 8th note, so it's 1 and. Come up on the and. And then come up here for the final notes. 4 and 1. 4 and 1. And don't hang on to that last note. It needs to be an 8th note. Left hand, we're starting here, so we're in this position. So it's second measure then when the left hand comes in. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay. Next line down. Second measure. This is the C major scale going up. 1 and 2 and 3 and. That's the fingering for it. I don't go over the fingering too much here because I'm hoping you've done your homework and you can do the C major scale and you already know the fingering. I mean, they wouldn't even need to put anything in there. You could just do it. That's all it is. Then a bunch of rest, you come back down for the next measure. And that's pretty much it until the bottom of page 21. The last measure of the 4th line, you've got that C scale coming up here. So you're up here. So it's 1 and 2. So you got to rest on the end of 1. 1 and 2. And that's going to be held down for 7 counts. You see all those slurred lines, or the tied lines, the curved lines, whatever they are. And then an 8th note, C. 1 and. And then the final notes are written here, but it has an 8V8 under them, so you go down an octave. So just come down here. Put the hands together. Well, this should be interesting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and. Now, a couple of things. In the left hand, in the first measure, we have the 8th notes. I'm just rotating the hand to play it. I'm not holding the hand still and trying to use the fingers. Don't recommend it. Just rotate the hand. I let the gravity push it down anyway. I let the weight push it down, and I'm just lowering whichever finger I want to use. So I'm here. I just rotate the hand over here and then back. It's actually a small motion, but I'm exaggerating it for you. And anywhere else in here you do that, just rotate the hand here. Then on the second line, first measure here, right there, when I play the F, the right hand comes up. And then you got to get your hand up here while you're playing this, come up here. In the second measure, you have a half a beat of rest in both hands. So the second line, second measure is 1 rest. See, there's a half, it's a 1 and 2. You do that some more. Go down to the next line. Third line down here. Right there, when I play the E, the right hand comes up. And again, I get a half a beat of rest. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and. So make sure you get in these rests, they're important. Let's go down to the last line on page 21. You're here. Rest. You're going to hold that down for 7 counts, and then the 8th note is the C and E. Rest, and then that gives you time to get your hands in position before you do this. Now once you can sort of get that and get rid of the hesitation, you don't want those. Just the beat has to be steady. You can go as slow as you need to go. That doesn't matter. Beat's got to be steady. Then we can add the staccatos, because the whole thing is staccato, pretty much. The longer notes are not staccato, but the quarter notes and the 8th notes pretty much are staccato. So I'm gonna a nice light wrist staccato here. Short staccato. Look at the second line, first measure in the right hand. It's a quarter note tied to an 8th note, and the 8th note is staccato. The quarter note here is not staccato. So you hold it down and then pretend when you come up in the left hand, because the staccato note, come up here with it. So it's here. The two hands come up at the same time. If you didn't have a staccato in the right hand, you'd have to hold that up, hold it down until right when you played the F. But with the staccato on it, you lift it up with the left hand. So try and be accurate on that. It's a minor thing, but it's the minor things that make all the difference in the world eventually on whether you're pretty good or really good. So second line again, you're here, 1 and. Staccato throughout both hands. See the note? And on these quarter note tied to an 8th note, do them the same way as the first measure of the second line. Do them all the same. Play the 8th note as a staccato. Just bring it up with the left hand. Now, technically, on the last line of page 20, we would go here. The half note, you hold that down. That's not staccato. But interpreting-wise, you got some leeway in here. But you do that after you get to know the piece. But here, I might want to play this. First note, I'm talking about the last line on page 20, first measure. This, the right hand, I might want to play that a longer note, a full quarter note maybe. So starting with the last measure of the third line, it's here. That's a way of interpreting it. So you have to decide how you're going to do it. Maybe one way, one time you'll do it one way, and another time you'll do it another, because you get this passage again later, and you can do it a different way later. You don't have to do it the same way both times. So the whole thing is staccato, except for the half notes and so forth. When you get to the bottom of 21, those notes tied, those aren't staccato, but the eighth notes are, and the last notes are. So forth. Now once you get a handle on the staccatos, that's a trick. Try putting in the dynamics. Starts out soft, whatever you think soft is, and that's for the right hand. Keep the left hand in the background. And in the second line, first measure, you have that swell. You're going to get louder and softer. Go up to here. And then come back down. Right there. You're still soft here. You're staying soft until the next line, second measure. You're going to go up to medium loud, moderately loud. Whatever you think moderately loud is. And then stay there. But in the next line, it's the right hand that's medium loud. The left hand has to get soft. And you have an accent on the half note. You play that a little louder. Get that swell again. And then at page 21, second line, now you're going to get softer. Because you're medium loud here at the beginning of the line. Soft, like you were at the beginning. Then at the end of the fourth line down, you're going to go up to loud, but don't get loud until the dotted half note. So you're here at soft. I'd play that maybe, let's see, the first note in the last line, maybe moderately loud. Just go up to there. And that's loud with an accent, makes it very loud. And it'll die away on its own. They give you a die away sign, that's fine. Listen to the sound, and when you play the eighth notes, try and match the level, the volume level, the loudness with what the piano is doing. However the piano dies away, try and match that when you play the eighth notes. Here, at the end of second, whatever that is, and then here. And then at the end, that is very soft. Good luck with that. Don't know why they're very soft. They usually end it loud, but they ended it soft. Okay. Then finally you can add the speed. Well, Andante moderato again is on the slightly slower side of the mid-range. Feel it. Get to know it and get into the music and feel it. Sometimes you'll play it faster than others. I mean, experiment at different speeds. Experiment with different speeds. Maybe that's way too fast, probably. Please don't copy me. I just give you an idea what it can sound like. You have to make it yours. You get into it. Just make sure that you play all the eighth notes evenly. Don't try and play them long short. That's out of character for a tango. Don't. It's got to be even. I like to play this with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do dynamics. I will do the staccatos as best I can. So I'll give us 5 counts, the full 4, plus 1 because we come in on beat 2. Let's try that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and go, and 1 and and 2 and 3. One and 2 and 1 and 2. And 2 and one and 2 and 3 and 4 and tie, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.